Taylor Schabusiness is at it again. She's getting down to business and brawling. This time is with nurses, sergeants, you name it, and we're going to talk about it in today's video. Hello, Sofa Squad, and welcome back to the sofa. Sofa's back there. I'm right here. Boys are over there sleeping. My name's Paul if you're new to the channel. If you're not new to the channel, well, my name's still Paul. Okay, y'all, today we're gonna do like kind of like a case update, revisiting. I say case update, but this is like a new case on top of a case update. Anyway, we're talking about Taylor Schabusiness. When you talk about Taylor Schabusiness, things go left and right, okay? Now, before we do get into this, please keep in mind, I ain't a lawyer, I ain't a doctor, I ain't a cop, ain't any of that fancy credentialed stuff, okay? Only credentials we got up in here is the sofa, my sass. I'm making opinions, commentary, that type of stuff on public cases, articles, that kind of stuff, right? So I encourage you to do your own research, come to your own conclusions, and talk about it in a friendly manner downstairs in the comment section below. Okay, now, that being said, for people who don't know, let's talk momentarily about who is Taylor Schabusiness. So Taylor Schabusiness took the life of 25-year-old Shad Therian in Green Bay, Wisconsin. This was back in February 2022. Now, she was charged with like first-degree M, mutilating a corpse, third-degree SA. She did everything you can imagine. She did things to his body in that kind of a manner. When she was done with him, she dismembered him. His head was in a bucket. His mother found it. I mean, it's out there, okay? Now, allegedly, this took place during like some kind of like a drug-fueled, adult interaction escapade, if you will. Now, another reason why this case was just all over, in addition to that tragedy and just whatever, is the bizarre antics that came out of Taylor. Okay, now she was found competent to stand trial, okay? But obviously she was ultimately convicted. She's got life without parole. She's never going to leave prison, okay? But during her trial, during the case, all this, we saw this absolutely off the rails behavior. And in fact, what I want to do is put together a very quick little montage here of a few highlights of that for those who are not familiar with this case, so you can kind of get on the same page as us, okay? So let's just take a look. Now, one of her most infamous things is this courtroom brawl. This is her lawyer who she is attacking here, okay? So she attacks the lawyer. This is just normal for her. Now, here we see her in court. They're talking about the autopsy photos and whatnot, crime scene photos of Shad. And what is she doing? She's looking at the camera, giving eyes to somebody, sitting here laughing, smirking, doing this. Now, also, right after this, she's here seen posing for the camera while they take pictures of her right after they arrested her. So, as you can see, this was the behavior that came out in court, okay? She's laughing, she's joking. If you follow my videos and stuff like that, and when I talk about these scenarios, when we look at cases that involve people who are either trying to claim insanity or mental health situations, one of the most recent cases like that was the Chloe Driver case where she was claiming mental illness, and looking at her, and one of the people I use in comparison for like when you look at them in their eyes, you can tell something's just gone, something's not right. Taylor is one of those, okay? She has just, it's like there's nothing there. And then to see her talking about the reasons why she did this to him, which were just meh, it turned me on. It was hot, she was just smoked, right? Laughing her way through court, so on and so forth. It was completely disarming, okay? So there's that. So that you can see all the makings here, the tragedy, the gruesome, the macabre nature of it, and then her behavior. Okay, so she's been off doing her little thing in state prison until semi-recently. This happened months ago, but it's just kind of hitting the press, if you will, okay? So let's get into today's update about it. Okay, so for this, we're going to go over to an article. I'll put some things up here. This is from 26 Northeast Wisconsin, and you'll see the title of this article, and it's by the NBC 26 staff. It says, "Woman convicted in gruesome M now accused of prison crime." And there's Taylor doing her little laughing. Okay, so let's just get into like the gist of it, right? Now again, it says right here, she's serving this life sentence at the Teichida, I hope I'm saying that right, Correctional Institution in Fond du Lac. And it says the complaint July 24th, so this is going back a little bit. She wanted medical attention. She had a staple that was lodged in her arm after she fell. Sergeant, referred to as the victim in the complaint, handcuffs her, takes her to the medical room to meet with a nurse. Now, the nurse states in the complaint that Schabusiness was laughing the entire time, and when the the nurse asked what was so funny, Taylor responded that nothing was funny. The nurse then warned Schabusiness that it might hurt a little bit as she approached with tweezers. But as soon as the tweezers made contact with the staple in Taylor's arm, she pushed the nurse out of the way and lunged out of her chair and at the nurse, according to the complaint. Now, then it says down further, at this time, the victim stepped in so the nurse could safely exit the room. Taylor and the victim struggled with a medical tray, which at one point was swung at the victim per the complaint. The victim's head was hit, she had bruised ribs, and her arm hurt. Additionally, the victim was exposed to pepper spray during the altercation. It says that Schabusiness is facing 1 count of battery by prisoner. She has a preliminary hearing scheduled for February 7th at the Fond du Lac County Courthouse. Okay, so that's the little update here. Now again, you know what it was giving to me when I was reading this and looking over it? Remember the thing in Silence of the Lambs where the guys come in the thing or whatever? And then also, if you watch scary movies, the Halloween reboot, I think it was the original Halloween reboot by Rob Zombie, where it's showing the young Michael Myers and the nurse thing when he attacks the nurse. You know, this is where my mind goes with these things, right? So God bless the nurse and the cop here for this. You know, this is the risk you run, okay, working in there. Now, one thing too, and again, this is just sofa speculation here. This is just my opinion. But when she was talking about like Taylor sitting there laughing and that kind of thing, Taylor just comes off as evil, right? You saw her laughing in the courtroom. This is what she does. She just kind of sits there laughing like she's off in her own little world. So she does that kind of like evil, laughing in my own world thing, whatever. And so in this scenario right here where the nurse is talking about that, we're like, what's so funny? Nothing's funny. You know, and then the second that the thing touched her and she pushed the nurse off and like basically lunged at her, it's almost like this, like, and I don't know what you call this, again, I'm not, a doctor, but it almost like that frontal lobe thing or whatever it does where you don't have any kind of like filter or barrier or pause for an emotional reaction. So like say as an adult, like, yeah, if somebody's doing that to something to the doctor, like, yeah, that's gonna hurt, of course, like we're a human being, but most of us would be like, oh gosh, or whatever. But Taylor goes with the instant like, oh, you hurt me attack, you know what I mean? Like, let me just like this, just blah, explosion, And just like what we saw in the courtroom, and just like with Shad, where it's like just any little whim, it's like, this is what I run to. I have no regulation, like a hormone regulator. I don't even know, right? If you're someone, help us out here, someone official, okay, in the comment section, okay? But, looking at it, and then it's like, and then she's off and running, like whatever it is that makes her angry or, releases that chemical that does that to you. It's like the Incredible Hulk. She's just going, she's attacking, she's doing this. You saw her in the thing, attacking the guard in the courtroom and whatnot. So it's like, to me, looking at it, I'm like, oh yeah, I mean, definitely this is a person that doesn't need to be in the general public. I mean, I think we saw that during the trial. There's some people, and I'm not trying to sit here and say like, well, this kind of murder is okay. Obviously, murder is never okay, right? But like, there's a difference between somebody, say, in the heat of passion, does something stupid and takes somebody's life. Like, I came home and found my person in bed with another person. I lost it and pulled a gun out. No, I would never normally do this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not somebody who is going to go rob a bank and kill somebody, whatever, right? That type of a murder versus Taylor's, oh, it turned me on and so I did it. Or, oh, she touched me wrong, so I gouged her eyes out. You see what I'm saying? Like that level where you're like, okay, what, huh? So with Taylor, I'm like, oh, she would probably reoffend constantly if she were out because she's clearly doing it behind closed doors. Imagine all the stimulus you run into on the outside. I'm surprised she didn't do something like this sooner, and maybe she did fight a lot and stuff like that, which just got away with it. I don't know. I would assume so, that people just didn't press charges or something. I mean, I don't know. That's the thing that I think she'll just continue to do that. Clearly they're going to probably house her in that kind of unit, like, when you watch the shows like on TV and stuff like that, where they go like Supermax and places like that, like whatever that version is for females or whatever, she'll probably work her way up to that because I don't see her ever coming down from whatever she's at unless she's heavily medicated. I mean, she's going to be in prison the rest of her life, right? So it's like she has nothing to lose. So like this charge right here, I mean, great that they're going to do it for the, the deputy and the nurse's sake to get some kind of justice or sense of like, you can't get away with that. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, what more can there be? I personally am waiting to hear when she kills another inmate. I'm just waiting for that. Like, just the behavior we saw, I'm like, I'm surprised she hasn't done it. I'm surprised she hasn't done it. So we'll keep our eye on it. I personally think what they'll do, and it just depends with her, if she's bored, she might want to be like, no, well, let's play this out. I don't know how they do that with inmates when it's like you're sentenced to life, you're not going anywhere. Are we going to take this to trial? Are we going to just be like, you know what, do you want to plea out or whatever? I personally could see her going to trial if that's an option, because what else do you have to do? It gets her out of the cell. It's something to do. You know what I mean? So we'll see. February 7th, we'll be on the lookout to see if we can, you know, see that. So until then, we will be prepared for anything to pop off with the Taylors, with the Schabusinesses. So that's it. I do appreciate you watching. I hope that you are doing well. If you could, drop some sofas off in the comment section below for myself, Rosco and Spirit, the sleeping boys over there. So we'll have a place to hang out, listen to all these cases, talk about all these cases that we do here at the Sofa Squad. And until we all meander down there to do that, I'll see y'all soon. I just wanted to say thank you again for watching the whole video, and also thank you for being part of the Sofa Squad. Special thanks to all the Patreon members, channel members from both of my channels, everybody who likes, shares, subscribes, comments in the comment sections. It helps the channel out so much. Now don't forget, I do have that other channel, the podcast channel. That's where we go live, we hang out, we talk. We have kind of sort of a schedule, but just be sure and check it out. I'll put it up here on the screen. And then like I said in the beginning of the video, if you want to follow me and Rosco on the Instagram, go on, check it out. It's right here on the screen again. But once again, thank you very much. I really appreciate you being part of the Sofa Squad, and I'll see you in the next video.